ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವಿತ್ ಡಿಸಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಸಮಾಜದ ಮುಖ್ಯ ವಾಹಿನಿಗೆ ದ ಮೇನ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ದೇ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಎ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸೊಸೈಟಿ ಅನ್ನುವಂತಹ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಹಲವು ವಿಷಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಲ್ತ್ ಕೇರ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಡ್ವೊಕೇಸಿ ಹೀಗೆ ವಿವಿಧ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ತನ್ನ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಆನ್ ಬಿಹಾಫ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವಿತ್ ಡಿಸಬಿಲಿಟಿ APD, I am Shankar Prakash expressing my happiness in welcoming you all to this important 9th NS Hema Memorial Award 2025 and also the 8th NS Hema Memorial Lecture. As per the wonderful tradition of our state and the country, we start the celebrations with a divine invocation. I would request Ms. Santosh Kumari and team to please come on stage and perform the invocation. According to Chapale energy, Bahala Karme. Lot of awards will be given on later on. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಇದೇ ರೀತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ ಕಲಾವಿದರು ಇರಬಹುದು ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ವಿನ್ನರ್ಸ್ ಇರಬಹುದು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕ್ಲಾಪಿಂಗ್. ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಪುಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಇನ್ವೊಕೇಶನ್ ಡಿವೈನ್ ಇನ್ವೊಕೇಶನ್ ಬೈ ಸಂತೋಷ್ ಕುಮಾರಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೀಮ್. Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation from Ms. Santosh Kumari and team. ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅಪಾರ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ತಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಸಹ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಮಿಸಿದ್ದೀರಿ. At the outset, I would request the Honorary President of APD, Shri Subir Hari Singh, for the opening remarks and welcome address. Please put your hands together and let's welcome the Subir Hari Singh, sir.
Hello, namaskara. Good morning, all the distinguished guests who are here today. In particular, I would especially like to welcome, on behalf of APD, the winners of the award, which will be announced during the program today. Madam N.S. Hema founded this institution in 1959, 66 years ago. And on the foundations that she had set up, this organization has grown and grown and grown, when today it goes beyond Karnataka to 6 states in the country. Today, with our long history, we are recognized not only by the state government, but by Government of India and also international organizations who invite us to the various conferences. Madam Hema passed away in 2016. And since that time, we've been having a lecture in her memory. And also, we have instituted these awards, which I just mentioned. Initially, the awards were restricted to Karnataka, but now we look at NGOs in the field of disability, not only in Karnataka, but throughout South India. The awards are given not just a cash award, but also a trophy and a citation. And we hope, in a small way, it encourages the winners and others who have seen this to increase their commitment to the center and to expand their activities. This morning, it is my very pleasant duty to welcome all the people who are here, especially Madam Kumudini, who is a sister of our founder. I welcome her and thank her for taking the trouble to be with us on this very, for us, a very auspicious day. It also gives me great pleasure to welcome Dr. Meenu Bhambani, who is going to deliver the memorial lecture today. She is a well-known figure in this field and has done yeoman service in bringing the marginalized to the center. And she, in her current role as a senior grants manager, she continues to very positively impact the disabled people and the disability sector. On behalf of APD and myself, I extend a very warm welcome to Dr. Bhambani. Also on the dais is our board member and chairperson of the awards committee, who went through a very diligent process of selecting the deserved, well-deserved awardees today. Srimati Jayanti Yashwant put in a lot of time and effort, and on behalf of APD, I thank her and also welcome her to the program today. And of course, with APD support from the government who's always with us is Shri Das Suryavanshi, who always supports us on every step of the way. On behalf of APD, I personally welcome him to having graced this occasion today. We also have Shri Raghavendra, Mr. Natraj, from the Department of the Differently Abled, and I thank him for sparing the time and being with us on this occasion. Two of our guests haven't yet reached us. In their absence, I would wish them a formal welcome. One, of course, is our MP, Professor Dr. Manjunath, a very well-known cardiologist. He unfortunately had to attend somebody's funeral ceremony, but he said he will join us a little later. On behalf of APD and myself, I welcome him to this program. Also, a person who has not yet joined us is Mr. Anandaram, who has been very kind enough to extend their generosity in giving us this hall for the function. I extend my thanks and a very warm welcome to him. I also would like to welcome the young students from the Faculty of Law who are here to assist us and to act as ushers. At the beginning of their career, I not only welcome them here, but also wish them all the best in their academic career and in the long journey ahead. With these few words, I once again thank all of you for being here, and I hope you have a good program this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for extending a very cordial welcome. I would request Shri Subir Hari Singh to accept a bouquet on behalf of the entire team as a token of love and affection. Please accept a bouquet as a token of love and affection. So let's give a round of applause and thank the Honorary President of APD. I would now request the dignitaries to kindly move forward and light the lamp to signal the beginning of this all-important 9th NS Hema Memorial Award 2025 and the 8th NS Hema Memorial Lecture. ದಯಮಾಡಿ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮುಂಭಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದು ದೀಪವನ್ನ ಬೆಳಗಿಸೋದ್ರ ಮೂಲಕ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಂಪ್ರದಾಯಿಕ ಚಾಲನೆಯನ್ನ ನೀಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ. So ladies and gentlemen, our duty is to put our hands together and say we are all with APD. ನಾವು APDಯ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ ಕಾರ್ಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಜೊತೆಗಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಅವರು ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಮಾಜಮುಖಿ ಕೆಲಸಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಅವರ ಜೊತೆ ಇರಲಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ತಮ್ಮ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ ತಿಳಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ. They support and APD, as we all know, remembering NS Hema, who dedicated her life for the upliftment of the sector, and she serves as a role model and in fact a motivational figure in terms of having the awards every year and the memorial lecture. Any music? Last year, the statue was unveiled. We can see the pic of that statue, which was unveiled during 2024. And that serves as a sense of motivation. Thank the priest for lighting the lamp. Yes, that's the energy that is required now. Yeah. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this year has been a very special NS Hema Memorial Award because 11 people are going to be presented in a short while from now, which indeed is a record growing from strength to strength. So all the award winners are here. We are expecting the arrival of one or two in just a minute. So ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸಹ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳು. At the outset, I would request the chairperson of the NS Hema Award Jury Committee, Mrs. Jayanti Yashwant Kumar, for the keynote address and to tell us more about the procedures and process, how the award was being given. Put your hands together.
Good morning. Distinguished guests on the dais, NS Hema family members, donors for APD, supporters of APD and APD staff, thank you all for being here today. Just a few paragraphs, okay? Few paragraphs on how this award was constituted and what is the process and how do we get to what we got it like for today. So I'll just take a few minutes on that. Like Mr. Subir was saying, NS Hema founded APD in 1959. She herself was inspired by her own experience with polio to create a legacy of inclusivity and empowerment. Through her vision, APD has pioneered rehabilitation, training, and inclusive education programs to help people with disabilities become integral members of the society. NS Hema passed on 2016. Her memory, this NS Hema Award was constituted in 2017. This is the 9th year that we are having the award ceremony. The purpose of the award is actually twofold. The first one is to recognize growing and budding NGOs in the space of disability in the south of India. We have not yet gone to the north of India as APD is yet in the south of India. So we send out invitations to NGOs who are in the space of disability in south of India. The award itself consists of two parts. First is a citation and a prize money of 1 lakh rupees for the winner and 50,000 for the runner-ups. And part 2 of the award is to handhold and help that particular NGOs to grow. We do this in the form of helping them in their presentations, fundraising, and various other requirements that the NGO has. And also, we participate and we include them in our programs, like distribution of hearing aids, distribution of any support system, training, so on and so forth. The process of selection goes this way. Between July and August, we send out invitations for NGOs to apply for the award. We have stringent criteria on who is eligible for application. A very senior team from APD does the screening, evaluation, site visits, and checking the background of these NGOs. This year, a team headed by Daniel and Janardhan were in charge for screening and shortlisting the NGOs. We received 48 applications and shortlisted 5, which was brought to the jury. The jury itself is a very distinguished and well-recognized jury. We have Mr. Srinivas Garudachar, who represents the family of NS Hema, and he has been a social entrepreneur and worked in the inclusivity space for more than 20 years now. We have Sanjeev Sarin, who has been global CEO, held very distinguished designations, and worked in groups like Tata's. We have two representatives from the donor space. We have Gurumurthy Matrubodham, who leads CSR from Juniper Networks. We have Rakesh Kumar, who leads CSR from ABB. We have Divakar Menon and myself from the board, and we represent APD on the jury. So these 5 shortlisted NGOs come and make a presentation to us. We have separate rating sheets, and the culmination and the final result of this evaluation results in the winners. This year, we have 2 of them. We'll later tell you all who the winners are. Every year, most of us who are there on the jury go to APD thinking we'll be contributing in the selection. And without fail, every year has been a very humbling experience where we learn a lot and we feel belittled. We actually feel how little we are doing when we see people with disabilities who come there and who have done work in the disability space with so much of passion. Most of them have been disabled themselves, and they come from below poverty line background. What is amazing and surprising is that they built these institutions in 2 to 5 years, touching lives across the country. And hundreds and thousands of lives are being touched. While announcing the awards, we'll more about the NGOs. I don't want to take away that for now. Thank you all for sparing time and being with us today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam, for giving us an insight into what exactly we are in store for the award winners. I would request Srimati Jayanti Yashwant to kindly accept the memento on behalf of the entire team. Thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today being the 87th birth anniversary of Ms. NS Hema, we have all gathered here to honor her, in fact, to know about her achievements in the disability inclusion and to celebrate the lasting legacy of her vision. So all of you, for the next few minutes, please sit back and let's watch the video about NS Hema. Let's have the video, please.
Nominee secretary Lopa.
She loved the hills of Ooty, the rain, Wheel of Destiny, the life and legacy of NS Hema and APD. There was once a little girl, curious, playful, full of dreams. She loved the hills of Ooty, the rains, the music of sparrows, and the laughter of family. But at just 5 years old, her world changed forever. Fever struck. Polio took away the strength of her limbs, but not the strength of her spirit. The days that followed were filled with pain and questions. Doctors offered no promises. Friends and relatives whispered about an uncertain future. While most children ran in the playground, she struggled to sit up, to move, even to hold her head. She would have withdrawn into silence. But not her. She chose to fight, to dream, to turn pain into purpose. That little girl grew up to be Nugelli Seshadri Hema, known to us as NS Hema. She faced barriers everywhere: inaccessible schools, limited opportunities, social stigma. Yet she never gave in. Instead, she asked herself, if the world won't open doors for me, how can I open them for others? Her parents were her first strength. They refused to let her remain hidden away. Their belief gave her the courage to believe in herself. A turning point came when her family moved to Bombay. At the Children's Orthopedic Hospital, Hema received her first wheelchair and rehabilitation. There she met Fatima Ismail, founder of the hospital and the Fellowship of the Physically Handicapped. People with disabilities work with dignity, and being encouraged by leaders like Hiram K. left a lasting mark. The seeds of her future vision were sown. Back home, those seeds began to grow. In September 1958, the Woodlands Hotel in Bangalore, Hema, along with Henry Diwan, Rev. Iowa Thomas, Lakshmi Menon, and others, shaped the vision for change. 15th May 1959, it became reality, the Association of the Physically Handicapped, APH. What began in her father's garage with tailoring and small contract work slowly gathered momentum. Families who once kept their children hidden began bringing them to APH, where they found not pity, but encouragement. Early focused on craft work, workshops, and confidence building. Children denied schooling were welcomed into classrooms. Mobility aids offered freedom. Rural communities began hearing a new message: persons with disability have the right to live with dignity. Hema believed children deserved not just education, but inclusive education. That became the Shraddhanjali Integrated School. Children with and without disabilities learned together. She knew that earlier support meant greater impact. Early intervention programs gave families hope, children inclusion from the start. Dignity focused on independence. APH pioneered adaptive assistive technology, designing wheelchairs, calipers, and devices that became tools of freedom. Each program grew from real needs Hema had lived, seeds planted with compassion blossoming into lifelines for thousands. Hema wanted APH to be more than a service provider, a center of excellence. She invited experts worldwide to train teams in therapy, education, livelihoods, and technology. This blend of global expertise and local knowledge made APH a hub of innovation and compassion. For Hema, this was never just work. It was her calling. She called APH her garden of hope, where every seed of effort blossomed into possibility. The journey wasn't without struggle, financial crisis, misunderstandings, heartbreak. Yet Hema never let despair take root. She stood tall, not with her body, but with her vision. Her efforts were honored nationally, the National Award for the Welfare of the Handicapped in 1988, and the Karnataka State Award for Social Service in 1994. But for Hema, the greatest reward was never a medal. It was watching a child walk into school, a woman earn her first income, a man regain independence. Her life became the shared story of thousands who found strength, dignity, and hope through her vision. In 1997, nearly 2 decades after that first meeting at Woodlands Hotel, EPH was renamed the Association of People with Disability, APD, a name that reflected Hema's true vision, inclusion and empowerment for all. We celebrate the NS Hema not as a pioneer and beacon of hope. Her story reminds us, even in the toughest challenges, one person's courage, supported by family, friends, and community, can transform the destiny of many. Her wheels of destiny continue to turn in every child, every family, every community touched by APD. What began as a small seed, APH, has flourished into APD, a powerful movement that has transformed a million lives and continues to grow stronger each day, empowering children, uplifting families, and transforming communities across the nation.
Well equipped, enable, and empower. That's been the message from the great lady. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on the stage we have the guest of honor, Shri Das Suryavanshi, who's been a strategic reformer, shaping programs that enhance opportunities and independence for PWDs. He's also been the champion for disability rights, at the same time ensuring policy implementation and systemic inclusion. He has been an advocate for inclusive governance, bridging government initiatives with the needs of persons with disabilities. Please put your hands together and let's welcome the State Commissioner for Persons with Disabilities Act, Shri Das Suryavanshi, for his ಬರೀ ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿರೋರು ಮಾತ್ರ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಬಹಳ ಕ್ವೈಟ್ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. Put your hands together. Let the energy be there.
Again, my heart is bubbling with joy to be a part of this 9th celebration of award, NS Hema Madam's Award, and her 87th birthday. Myself always consider that I am a most privileged creation of this earth, that God has made me as a able-bodied person with the reason and purpose, not to enjoy the things of this world with my own able-bodied things, but be accessible for the people who are not, have not. That's how God has called me to this work, and I am doing it. So it is my privilege to be over here, and it is a challenging job to work in the field of disability. It costs life. It is a difficult life. Always I say, working in the field of disability, it is like a rebuilding work. So rebuilding work costs everything. So if there is an old building, it has to be demolished, remove all the rubbles, replan, start the construction. So same way, working in the field of disability, it is like a rebuilding. We have to convince them, the persons with disabilities, you are the part of the society, you are the responsible citizen of the society, and we have to rehabilitate them, and that's what it costs. That is what I say, it is always a rebuilding work. And as we have been called ourselves as an able-bodied person, we have to do the responsibility for the rehabilitation of persons with disabilities. And that is what God has given us, this beautiful, powerful eyes, which is the most powerful camera in this world, not to enjoy ourselves all the beauty of this world, to be an eyes to the blind, be feet to the lame. That is what we have been called. So not to enjoy ourselves, but be accessible to the persons with disabilities. That is why I want to challenge over here the people who have come here as a noble-moded persons. Be eyes to the blind, feet to the lame, and whatever things they have lost in their body, be accessible to them with your body. That's what we can put an example, and you can yourself involved in the rebuilding work. Now today is the day, it is the happiest moment. Some of the experts have been, some of the people who are working in the field of disability, always I say as a normal bodied person, working in the field of disability, it is a donkey job. Please forgive me to use this word. So donkey never expect any promotion in his life. Throughout his life, he has to go on working. When the master needs him, he holds his ear, pulls him, put that burden on him, carries him, and leaves him in the wherever he wants to go for grazing. So donkey doesn't have any promotion in his life. So he has to go on working in the task which has been given to him. Same way, the working in the field of disability definitely it costs so much. But today, the award has been given to those people who are working in this field of disability. So award gives the replication, the person who is working in the field of disability, he feels as on today, whatever burden I was carrying, whatever things I was doing in the field of disability, that is being removed today because of the felicitation, because of the applaudation. And that is what I feel always, because when I used to get some sort of appreciation by the people and society, government at large, I used to feel myself, whatever I have done till now, that I have been relieved from the responsibility what I was doing it. So because of the citation and encouragement and all. So I feel today the people, the NGOs who have been chosen for this cause, definitely they will feel that whatever they have done today and they are going to do in future too, they have to do a special way with more dedication, more power, so they can prove themselves they have done what they have to do, and they should be considered as a well done servant for the society. So I am happy over here once again challenging all the so-called normal bodied persons over here. Do something for the cause of disability, because God has made you normal persons. You can do well than this community. So why can't you become accessible? So that is what I want to share from this dais. At the same time, we are planning to have a Purple Fest here in the month of December. We are planning to have a huge gathering with 100% outcome, so that we can send a message to the country at large, state at large. We have done something better for the cause, for the rehabilitation, total rehabilitation of persons with disabilities. Once again, it is my privilege. I am thank you. After a long gap of time, I am meeting Dr. Meenu Bambani when she was very young, I think 15 years back. She was the Deputy Commissioner of Persons with Disability in Rajasthan or Delhi. That time I was also State Commissioner for Disabilities. So it is my privilege, sometimes celebrations, programs helps us to know each other, and so we work effectively. Being the same field, again we can go ahead as a warrior to bring out the changes in the field of persons with disabilities. Thank you once again very much for the APD calling me over here and being a part of this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir, for a highly thought-provoking address. We request you to kindly accept the memento on behalf of the organizing team. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ದಾಸ್ ಸೂರ್ಯವಂಶಿ ಅವರು, ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಕಮಿಷನರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಡಿಸಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಕ್ಟ್. ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಅರ್ಥಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಸಹ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ PWD ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನುವಂತಹ ಸಂದೇಶವನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್. We now move on with another cultural presentation by Shraddhanjali Integrated School, which was established in 1973. It's a primary school on the APD campus in Bengaluru. 300 plus children are here studying up to class 8, accredited by the SSLC board. Our inclusive school maintains 80:20 ratio of children with impairments and non-disabled students. Put your hands together. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಲಾವಿದರನ್ನ ಜೋರಾದ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆಯೊಂದಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸೋಣ for the cultural presentation. Medley of songs from different languages. Congratulations to all the students for that wonderful dance performance. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are all eagerly awaiting this Hema Memorial Lecture. We are indeed privileged to have Dr. Meenu Bambani, a leader in corporate citizenship and inclusion, driving transformative CSR and diversity, equity, and inclusion programs across India and APEC. She's got 2 decades of impact pioneering disability inclusion and systemic change through corporate, government, and non-profit initiatives. She's been a recognized change maker, President's National Award winner, board advisor and trustee for Raintree Foundation and NCP EDP, academic excellence, PhD in English literature, Masters in Disability and Human Development, University of Illinois, Chicago, International Ford Foundation Fellow. So please put your hands together and let's welcome the Vice President and Senior Grants Manager, APD, State Street Corporation, Dr. Meenu Bambani, for the memorial lecture. Over to you, ma'am.
No. Good morning. And I think I want to start firstly by thanking APD, Malika especially, who thought that I'm worthy of being here today and delivering this keynote speech for NS Hema Memorial Day today. It is her birthday. Distinguished guests, family of NS Hema, all the people present here, friends, some of them I know, I recognize. I am truly privileged, honored, and humbled to be here today. With NS Hema, I share this connection, this identity, as I also have polio. I have also lived with polio all my life. And it's truly, humbling to be here today, to be on the stage and talk about a little bit about NS Hema when, as I was watching this video, I saw that she started APH, now APD, way back in 1957. She thought about nothing about us without us when this concept had not even been coined or heard or talked about. She started APD when most organizations, there were very few organizations. And she started APD at a time when most of the organizations, whichever were existing, were run by parents of persons with disabilities or by professionals. Even till today, in spite of UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, RPWD Act 2016, so many policies, circulars, rulings by the courts, the cause of disability continues to be represented by either family, professionals, or allies. I was told that I should speak on the UN theme, which is amplifying the leadership of people with disabilities for an inclusive and sustainable world. I'm sure all of you agree with me. There are millions of people with disability in India, and over 1 billion people worldwide. Yet they remain underrepresented in leadership and decision making. Do you all agree with me? Yeah? Thank you. Thank you for raising your hands. I want to ask all of you a question. How many of you have heard of Judith Human or Javed Abidi? Okay, quite a few. Great to hear. I want to start by quoting from, highlighting two of their quotes here. I have brought this book with me. It's called Being Human, an unrepentant memoir of a disability rights activist. Judith Human is also known as the mother of disability rights movement in the US. And I just feel I was very privileged that I got an opportunity to meet her, to work with her, and to learn from her. She was the one who pioneered activism in the US, along with many others. She was the one who was the force behind inclusive education and Americans with Disabilities Act. And another person is Javed Abidi. A lot of you have heard of Javed Abidi. He's also known as the father of self-advocacy disability rights movement in India. It was not that before Javed came, there was no advocacy. There was advocacy. There was advocacy by parents. There was advocacy by professionals. But there was no self-advocacy by people with disabilities themselves. And I learned from him. Judy, in her book, she says, if you believe in something, do whatever it takes to get your point across. And I also want to quote Javed, where he used to say that we are conditioned by habit. Mere talk won't bring about any change. Let's make some noise. This vacuum must not remain. What did I from these two stalwarts of disability rights movement? They were a very powerful influence in my life, apart from my parents, because my first lessons in disability leadership came from Javed and Judy. Let me share how I've developed my own disability identity, which went through the usual cycle of denial, struggle to fit in, finding Javed, finding the disability community, finding my identity, and eventually the desire to question and change status quo. I was a student in 1996. I was doing my PhD, and my father, he continues, he's 87 years old and he continues to remain an activist till today. So he always used to push me. There is this government scheme, there is that government scheme. This is your right, apply for it. You are entitled to it. And then he told me that you have lots of rights. There is a Persons with Disabilities Act that has been passed. So I was, of course, very aware. I used to read newspapers, watch TV news, and I argued with him that no, the act has not been passed because Parliament was adjourned. Next day, he got a clipping from the newspaper, which Javed Abidi had written, in which he had thanked one NDTV news journalist, thanking him for his support when they were doing candlelight vigils and protesting outside the Parliament to pass the Disability Act 1995. And he shared in that the Disability Act had been passed. He said, write to him and ask him whether I'm speaking the truth or you are speaking the truth. So I wrote to Javed and I got a copy of the Disability Act along with a 1.5-page letter in which he shared with me the history of the passage of Disability Act 1995, how some key leaders from the disability world came together to challenge the status quo, to ask for their right and to ask for the passage of the Disability Act. And he said, you know, I'm here in Delhi trying to change policies, trying to represent the voice of people with disabilities. But one person is not enough. We need educated people with disability to be the leaders in their own cities, in their own districts, in their own taluks, in their own panchayats, in their own villages, in their own states. And if people with disabilities do not come forward to take that space, we will always be ruled by professionals who will decide for us what is good for us without consideration to our lived experiences. I think that was something that hit very hard. Not immediately, but I kept going back to that letter. And it kept reminding, I mean, I was all, when I was growing up in school, when I used to go, I was denied accommodations. At that time in 70s, you didn't even know that these were accommodations I could ask for. So it was my parents who would beg, write a letter to the principal, say, my daughter cannot attend the assembly, my daughter cannot, she cannot carry her heavy bag. Can you please exempt her? Can you please exempt her from attending the assembly? Can you please exempt her from walking all the way to the bus stand? Can you provide some assistance for her to lift her bag and reach the class or reach the bus or reach the bus stop? So every year was a struggle, every year was a challenge, every year was advocacy by my parents. But when I grew up, I realized that, and teachers sometimes used to feel that I am trying to make an excuse because of my disability and want to skip assembly and want to skip classes. And I realized that I remained a mediocre student throughout because I just felt that I was not good enough. I was not good enough because everyone else around thought that I was not good enough. I didn't have the capabilities. Nobody invested in my capabilities to believe in me. As I went to college, I realized that the struggle is only going to multiply and it's not going to get easy. And I was also seeing that my parents are also becoming older. They cannot be with me everywhere. So how do I muster that courage where I am by myself and I am advocating for myself? And that is when, so all these things I used to look back after I read Javed's letter. I never thought that I was denied my rights because it was the norm. You just accept that this is how things are and you don't question anything. You just live with it. So my entire college, my entire university till I met Javed was like this. Hidden, wanting to fit in. When I see some of my old photographs, I realize that I used to walk with a stick then. And my hand always used to be behind hiding my stick because I didn't want this marker of disability to be seen. Because I wanted to be like everyone else. After meeting Javed and after meeting a lot of other people with disabilities, I realized I'm not alone. There are so many like me who are achievers and from whom I could take inspiration. And we could become a collective, because when you are together, your voices get amplified. And that is how the leadership of people with disabilities get amplified. When collective, they are seen as a force. And when I saw a lot of people with disabilities, I realized that this is my safe space. It is this space where I'm not judged, but I am accepted as who I am, with my disability, with my condition. And I'm not being forced to perform. I'm not forced to comply to the norm. And I think that gave me a lot of courage. And from there, you know, the trajectory of my career or life was that I just wanted to get a job so that I was not dependent on my parents. But meeting other people with disabilities, meeting leaders with disabilities, developing that identity and developing that sense of pride in myself, that I should not be ashamed of my disability. Why am I hiding it? I think a lot of times, most people with disabilities go through this journey. And when I went through the journey, I came to a realization that I came to this realization that I want to do something in the space of disability. I want to make a career in the space of disability, because I realized that not many people with disabilities have the voice, but today I have the education, I have communication, and I can use my skills to amplify that voice of people with disabilities. So I started volunteering, and which eventually led to me being called by the Disability Commissioner Rajasthan in 2000 to come and join him as Assistant Commissioner Disabilities. And there I saw how this whole philosophy of nothing about us without us coming to light. I was the only person. Everywhere, I mean, in most of the mainstream places, I'm sure a lot of you here who are persons with disabilities realize that you are the only one. You are alone. There is no one like us in that gathering. In most decision-making places, we are just missing. We are not there. We are not at the table where our futures are decided. I remember, so, as Assistant Commissioner Disabilities in Rajasthan, I realized that my lived experience is not enough. I need to know more about other disabilities so that I can become a strong voice for them. I wanted to change policies. I realized that the gaps that a person with disability can see in policies, a lot of people without disabilities can't even acknowledge them, that they exist, because they don't affect them. The lack of policies affects us people with disabilities. Judy in her book has quoted Shirley Chisholm, the first Black Congresswoman and the author of Unbossed and Unbought. And I quote, "You don't make progress by standing on sidelines, whimpering and complaining. You make progress by implementing ideas." I see Prateek sitting here. And when as I was reading this quote, I was just thinking about him that he did not sit on the sidelines whimpering and complaining, but he implemented his idea that I want to make sure that we have ramps everywhere. He started his own company. He took charge. And that is what people with disabilities need to do, to take charge. My one big learning was in 1998 when Javed Abidi filed a public interest litigation suing Indian Airlines, along with it, Union of India, Government of India, for non-implementation of PWD Act 1995. And he said, commissioners have not been appointed. The act has not been put into place. The act has been just on paper. And how did he do that? He made personal political. He was denied AmbuLift in Indian Airlines flight, and that became a trigger for him to question. And he said that I have my right, and this right is given to me by this act. So he took that idea and implemented it by challenging it in the court. And today, I'm sure a lot of you travel by air, and a lot of you know that you have AmbuLift available at every airport. Just day before, I was returning from Hyderabad, how, if you don't stand up for yourself, nobody will stand up for you. I was sitting in the wheelchair users, or those who take wheelchair assistance are the last to deplane. I was waiting. There was no ramp, there was no aero bridge, there were steps. And they said, Madam, can you use the steps? I said, no, I can't use the steps. I need an AmbuLift. Oh, of course, because I have a right, so they couldn't deny me. But they said, that will take 1 hour. So you will have to sit in the flight for 1 hour. What should I have done in that situation? Either I should have followed the norm because I wanted to save time, so I used the steps. I said, I will wait for the AmbuLift to come. They threatened me, they warned me 3 times, it will take 1 hour. Madam, it will take 1 hour. I said, I don't care, I have a lot of time. I will wait. I will wait for the AmbuLift to come. Within 5 minutes, the AmbuLift was there. So I realized that, most people with disabilities don't ask. We don't ask. And that is why we are pushed around. We are just told that here is this alternative jugaad available. Use that. Exclusion is a daily lived reality. The moment you step out of the house, your home is your safe space where your family loves you, takes care of you, treats you equally. But moment you step outside, the systemic barriers, the attitudinal barriers, all these keep you excluded. So that was one lesson that I learned from Javed, that we have to implement ideas. And that has stayed with me throughout, as I shared in this example, that how in the flight, I said, I have to implement this. If I also follow like everyone else, this AmbuLift will never come to people, right? From Javed, I learned census. We were never included in census. 1931 was the last census, after which it was 2004. Again, he brought people with disabilities together and their leadership and their voices, that we need to be counted. If we are not counted, that means we don't exist. He made, everything from a small idea, he would amplify it. Stephen Hawking, when he visited India, I'm sure a lot of you may or may not know, when Stephen Hawking, everybody knows Stephen Hawking, when he came to India, he wanted to visit our historical monuments. He read it in the newspaper. He reached out to Archaeological Survey of India, which manages heritage buildings, that Stephen Hawking, world's greatest scientist, is visiting India and he wants to visit the Lal Killa and Qutub Minar. It's not accessible. They ignored him so he flashed it out in the media that such a big scientist is coming and look, there's nothing. How he uses a motorized wheelchair? How will he visit the historical monuments? ASI got a flag and immediately they put temporary ramps so that he could access Qutub Minar and Lal Killa. Now that became such a big news from where this whole movement around accessibility started. Elections. He contested elections. He did not win. But he filed a public interest litigation that where do we see people with disabilities? They also have a right to vote and share their voice and be part of the decision making of the country, elect their leaders, but none of the polling booths are accessible. And that changed. That changed with the PIL. And today, all of you who go to vote, I'm sure you see that there are ramps at every polling booth, right? When I went to the US in 2002 and I met Judith Human, she was the advisor to World Bank on disability. She was the first advisor to the World Bank on disability. And World Bank had started looking at disability inclusion in their work, and that is why they needed an expert. When I met her, I was still pursuing my second master's. I met her at a conference, and she told me she asked me what I was doing. I said, I'm studying and I'm doing my master's in disability studies. She's so wonderful. And I said, I'm specializing in social policy. And she said, would you like to do internship at the World Bank? I said, yes. Send me your resume. I want more and more people with disabilities to be everywhere. I want more people with disabilities at the World Bank because they don't exist there. I am the only one. So as a person with disability, my first lesson that as you are going up the ladder, as you are climbing, you have to lift your community up. So she was always promoting people with disabilities, wanting their representation everywhere because she said representation matters. Without representation, our voices are not there. Leadership matters. It drives policy and practice when persons with disabilities lead. It is about agency and voice and not just participation. Without leadership, inclusion is like a token. I have spent 18 years in Karnataka now, in Bangalore. For 12 years, I was working with emphasis. I was heading CSR there. And some of the things that I've managed to accomplish, some failed, some succeeded, some continue to remain, some have become a legacy for Karnataka and India. I feel very proud of them. But I feel all these things would not have happened if I did not have the ear of the leadership, if I did not have a seat at the table, if I didn't have the qualification and the necessary, if I was not empowered with data to advocate for our rights. I want to highlight two incidents from my life, especially from my work at Emphasis. How many of you have seen Museum of Art and Photography in Bangalore? Have you found it accessible? It has it's digitally accessible, it's physically accessible, maybe not 100%, but as a person with disability, when I visit there, I, I feel I can ask for support. I know what exists. There are ramps everywhere of appropriate. The lifts are so wide, the 3, 4 wheelchairs can go in those lifts. There's sign language interpretation. There are offerings which have closed captioning, the digital offerings. So it has been taken care of from all aspects of disability. When that proposal came to me, and I proposed it to the leadership, I was told people with disabilities need jobs, they need education. Why art? Why do we need to invest in art? And why in a museum? By that time, I had become a mother. My child was 4 years old. She had started going to school. And I realized that for me, excluded as a person with disability, as a woman with disability. And now I started feeling excluded as a mother with a disability. I started feeling excluded as a family. My whole family felt excluded because none of the public places or most of the public places I couldn't access. I could not take my daughter. So I was excluded, my daughter was excluded. Consequently, whole family was excluded. So my argument to them was, because we think people with disabilities only need charity through education and jobs, but they don't need space in public spaces. A museum is a public space. If we are not seen in public space, we become invisible, unheard, unseen. And what does that lead to? That leads to a future where we are wiped out, where we don't exist, where we don't think that there are people with disabilities who could be mothers, who could be fathers, who could have families, who could be grandparents. And today, grandparents with disabilities are the biggest population, and that is only going to increase. In this book, Judy quotes something Hillary Clinton has said about her. And this is in the context of America, but I think it's true in the context of whole world. It is one of the ironies of American life that the one category into which almost all of us will fit at some time in our lives, that is, all of us are going to become people with disabilities, is often the last on the list of included groups in this country. And when I shared this, that, how my daughter is invited for birthday parties to places which are inaccessible, neither can she go, nor can I, because I cannot take her and I cannot take a 4-year-old alone. So she is excluded. I am excluded. At the end of the day, the whole family which has a person with disability is excluded. My boss said, I'm sold, let's go ahead. And we have now India's first museum accessible in Bangalore, in Karnataka. How did that happen? That happened because I had a seat at the table. If I didn't have a seat at the table, I wouldn't have been able to put across this idea, and someone else would have thought that, no, it's not possible. Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, Office of Disability Services, continues to remain the most inclusive space for students with disabilities. So some of the barriers to leadership are, structural barriers, attitudinal barriers, systemic barriers, where system continues to keep us excluded. SDGs, they mention disability, but the progress is lagging because there's no leadership of people with disabilities. How do we change that? I have 2 more minutes. I just want to end by saying a few last few points. Unless we invest in capacity building, that is, people with disabilities are mentored, they are trained to hold leadership positions, they are given scholarships and fellowships, and they populate mainstream spaces, we are not going to see much change. Creating enabling ecosystems, accessible technology, inclusive workplace policies, and universal design, that is what is going to amplify leadership. Funding and supporting disability-led organizations instead of only disability serving ones. Most organizations serve people with disabilities, but they are not really led by people with disabilities. So unless if corporates, CSR, when they look at their policies and they look at their funding criteria, are they investing in organizations that are led by people with disability? I think that should become one of the criteria to amplify the leadership of people with disabilities. Representation at all levels, from community councils to parliaments, from local entrepreneurship to corporate boards. How many corporate boards have we heard of where there are people with disabilities? Government of India mandated that there has to be a woman on the board. So there is a woman on the board. But are there any people with disabilities on the corporate boards? No, because there is no mandate. So we need our voices there. So I think I'll just end by saying a few things that we need to ensure that persons with disabilities, the roles are created in the decision making for people with disabilities, and they are not just consulted. So we consult them and we forget about them, but we do not create enough opportunities for them to lead from the front. Have leadership pipelines. We think of second line of leaderships, but are we looking at leadership pipeline where we are investing in capacities of people with disabilities so that they lead from the front and they become visible? You know, disability sector tends to remain very closed. I mean, as I'm standing here, I feel a lot of you are from the disability sector, so you know all these issues, you know all these areas which need investment. But when I go out in the larger civil society which focuses on gender, environment, and so many other issues, the voices of people with disabilities are missing in all of those. So even civil society needs to come forward, and we need to populate ourselves there. And I think last but not the least, everyone in the room has to become an ally, a sponsor, a mentor, so that we amplify the voices of people with disabilities. Thank you once again. I'm truly honored and privileged to be here, and thank you for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Madam. It was a real eye-opener. I request you to kindly accept a memento on behalf of the entire organizing team. Amplifying the leadership of persons with disabilities for an inclusive and sustainable future. A highly inspiring and thought-provoking, but the clapping was not inspiring at all. Well, you're all listening to me carefully. ಬಹಳ ಸಂತೋಷ ನನ್ನ ಮಾತುಗಳನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ನೀವು ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಮ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ. Please keep the energy going. Thank you very much, Dr. Meenu Bambani, for your keynote lecture. We also have with us the Joint Director of the Department for Empowerment of Differently Abled and Senior Citizens, Government of Karnataka, Shri Nataraj, who's been a champion of inclusions and has been working tirelessly for programs that empower differently abled individuals and senior citizens across the state. Bandhugale, swagatiಸಿ Shri Nataraj avaru.
9th NS Hema Memorial Award 2025 ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಸೀನರಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗಣ್ಯರೇ, ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮುಂಭಾಗದಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಿರಿಯರೇ, ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ಅಕ್ಕ ತಂಗಿಯರೇ, ಅಣ್ಣ ತಮ್ಮಂದ್ರೆ, ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ವಿಷಯಗಳನ್ನ ತುಂಬಾ ನಮಗೆ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾನು ತುಂಬಾ ಮಾತನಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಪ್ರಪ್ರಥಮವಾಗಿ APD ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯವರು ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ NS ಹೇಮಾ ಮೇಡಮ್ ರವರ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕಾರ್ಥ ಈ ವರ್ಷ ವಿಕಲಚೇತನರ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನ, ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳನ್ನ ಗುರುತಿಸಿ ಅವರನ್ನ ಇನ್ನು ಎರಡನೇದಾಗಿ ಈ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರ ಡಿಸೇಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಇದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೆಗ್ಲೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್, ವಲ್ನರಬಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ವಲ್ನರಬಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಇದಾವೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಈ ಡಿಸೇಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್. ಈ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ NGOs ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು ಬಹಳ ಕಡಿಮೆ. ನಾನು 32 ವರ್ಷಗಳ ಹಿಂದೆ MSW APD ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗೆ ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಆವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ APD ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಾಗಿ ವಿಕಲಚೇತನರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ NGO. ಇವತ್ತು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು NGOಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ 200 NGOs ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ, ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಕಂಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಆದ್ರೂ ಸಹ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಪ್ಯಾರಲಲ್ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು NGO ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ APD. ಅವರು ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಆಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ಲಿ ಏಬಲ್ಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಸಿಟಿಸನ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಬಹಳ ಹತ್ತಿರದಿಂದ ಬಹಳ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ NGO APD. ನಾನು ಅನೇಕ ವಿಕಲಚೇತನರ ಮನೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೋದ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು ವಿಕಲಚೇತನರು ಹಾಸಿಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮೇಲೆ ಎದ್ದೇಳಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತಿಗೂ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ವಿಕಲಚೇತನರು ಹಾಸಿಗೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಮಲಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರು, ತುಂಬಾ ವೀಲ್ ಚೇರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರು ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂತವ್ರೆಲ್ಲವರನ್ನು ಗಮನಿಸಿದಾಗ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಆರೈಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಒಬ್ರು ಆರೈಕೆದಾರ ಇರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಇವತ್ತಿಗೂ ನಿಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾರು ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ 75%, 80% ಡಿಸೇಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆ, ಅವರನ್ನ ಕೇರ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಒಬ್ರು ಕೇರ್ ಟೇಕರ್ ಬೇಕು. ಮೊದಲೇ ಬಡತನ, ಡಿಸೇಬಿಲಿಟಿ, ಯಾರು ಸಂಬಂಧಿಕರು ಯಾರು ನೋಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಂಥದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಬಡತನ, ಡಿಸೇಬಿಲಿಟಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರ ಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಗಂಭೀರ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರು ಫೈನಾನ್ಸ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡಿ, ಕಳೆದ ವರ್ಷ ನಾವು ಕೇರ್ ಟೇಕರ್ಸ್ಗೆ, ಯಾರು ಕೇರ್ ಟೇಕರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಸಿವಿಯರ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸೇಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರು ಕೇರ್ ಟೇಕರ್ಸ್ ಯಾರಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 1000 ರೂಪೀಸ್, ನಾವೊಂದು 5000 ರೂಪೀಸ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ವಿ. ಸರ್ಕಾರ 1000 ರೂಪೀಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತು. ಈ ವರ್ಷ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಪೋಸಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ವಿ, ಒಂದು 5-6 ಡಿಸೇಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಈ ವರ್ಷ ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು 3 ಡಿಸೇಬಿಲಿಟಿಯನ್ನು ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕೇರ್ ಟೇಕರ್ಸ್ಗೆ 1000 ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ತಂದೆ ಬಹಳ ಸಂತೋಷ ಪಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಿಚಾರ. ಇನ್ನು ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಸಹ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಈ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಸಹ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮಾತನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ, ಕೊನೆಯದಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಮಾತನ್ನು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಈ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ತೃಪ್ತಿ, ಡಿಸೇಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ತೃಪ್ತಿ. ನಾನು ಮೊದಲು ವಿದ್ಯಾಭ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು NGOದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಬಂದೆ. ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಜೊತೆಗೆ, ಮಹಿಳೆಯರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ, ಯುವಕರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಕಳೆದ 2 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಜಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಈ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸೇಬಲ್ಡ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಸಿಟಿಜನ್ ಜೊತೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ನನಗೆ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ನನ್ನ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗಿರುವಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಮೊದಲು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಷ್ಟು ತೃಪ್ತಿ ನನಗೆ ಇದೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಈ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಭಾವನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇದೆ, ಭಗವಂತ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಇದೆ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು ನಮ್ದು. ಮಾತನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿ ನನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆಸಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನನ್ನ ಮಾತನ್ನು ಮುಗಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು.
ಬಹಳ ಅರ್ಥಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರು ಶ್ರೀ ನಟರಾಜ್ ಅವರು. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಹಾಕಿಕೊಂಡಿರುವಂತಹ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಳಿಸಿದ್ರು. ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಈ ನೆನಪಿನ ಕಾಣಿಕೆಯನ್ನ ಸಸಿಯ ಮೂಲಕ ಪರಿಸರ ಸ್ನೇಹಿ APD, ಎನ್ವೈರನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಲಿ APD. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಶ್ರೀ ನಟರಾಜ್. ಈಗ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆಯಿಂದ ಕಾಯ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು ಯಾವಾಗ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಪ್ಪ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಮಾತೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿದ್ವಿ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುನ್ನ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೂಡೆಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ವೇ ಟು ಕೀಪ್ ಅಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಅಂಡ್ be in good mood is to either listen to some good music or watch some good program. That's what we are going to do. We are going to have a cultural presentation now by Mrs. Roshna and Dr. Alice. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಅಚೀವರ್ಸ್ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆಗ್ಬೋದಾ? ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜೋರಾದ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಏನಂತ ಕಲಾವಿದರಿಗೂ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ತಟ್ಟಂಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಯುವರ್ ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್. ಸೊ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಪುಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ Mrs. Roshna and Dr. Alice. much, Mr. Roshna and Dr. Alice for entertaining the audience. ಈಗ ನಾವು ನೀವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ತಿಳಿಸಿದಾಗೆ ಈ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ನ ಮೊದಲ ಹಂತಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಮೊದಲ ಹಂತದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಚೀವರ್ಸ್ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್. I would request all the dignitaries to kindly come over here for the presentation of the award. First of all, I would like to call upon Shri Pratik Khandelwal. Pratik Khandelwal ಅವರು ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. Put your hands together for Pratik Khandelwal. The National Award for Social Entrepreneur and Leader in Accessibility. Since founding Ramp My City in 2020, it has driven systemic change in urban spaces, ensuring that accessibility is recognized as a fundamental right. Through vision, innovation, and leadership, it continues to empower communities, influence policy, and inspire global conversations on inclusion. We founded Ramp My City to make cities accessible and inclusive. Yes. Stage ಮೇಲೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಬಂತು, ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಬರಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? Over 600 public spaces transformed in just 4 years. I would request Siddharth Suryavanshi and the individuals to kindly honor Shri Pratik Khandelwal for this wonderful Achievers Award for PWDs, achieving systemic change, shaping a future where accessibility, dignity, and participation are not negotiable. Congratulations to Pratik Khandelwal, the National Award for Social Entrepreneur, and today, Achievers Award. Yes. Yes. Khandelwal. Award. Ganga Mandir, please come over and receive the award. Congratulations and thank you very much. In the Mundina Achiever Award, Ganga Mandel is already waiting. Come, please come. Ganga Mandel, a multi-sport para-athlete and resilience ambassador, breaking barriers and inspiring through every challenge. Congratulations to Ganga Mandel. Climbing, para swimming, para badminton, other accolades. All of them Ganga Mandel ಅವರಿಗೆ ಗಣ್ಯರಿಂದ ಅಭೂತಪೂರ್ವ ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ ಗೌರವಗಳನ್ನು ನೀಡಲಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. She began her sports journey in 2000 through the Association of People with Disabilities. She has excelled as a national wheelchair basketball player and other sports. She has been a winner para sports Infosys Chennai first place international purple test Goa 2024. Ganga Mandel ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳು. Congratulations. Nayakarao Kanyadi to please come over and receive the award. Vinayakarao Kanyadi, a visionary leader and social innovator with disability, transforming lives through empowerment and leadership. Social leadership, community programs, empowering spinal injury survivors, organizational leadership, and has been honored by Lions Club Velcongadi and various other organizations. So, on behalf of the entire jury and all of us, let's give a round of applause and congratulate Mr. Vinayak. Just coming to kindly come over onto the stage, please. Hello, Bunny, sir. I want to be here. Please come over. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Sri Anand Ram. Urgent Kelsa idru ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಮಗೋಸ್ಕರ congratulations. Please come. We also acknowledge the presence of the principal, Mr. Hema Rao. Hearty welcome to you, sir. And now, Vishwas K. I will request Vishwas K. to please come over and receive the award. Vishwas, Bani Vishwas, sir. An international Tarazim champion, dancer, actor, motivational speaker, and also multi-dimensional achiever, Vishwas. ಹಲವು ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ತಮ್ಮನ್ನ ತೊಡಗಿಸಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Paralympic 7 medals at national and international levels. Martial arts and dance, 7 medals in martial arts. State Award 2015, Goalkeeper Awards 2016-17. ಹಲವು ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಗಳು ಇವರನ್ನ ಅರಸಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ. National Role Model Award 2018 and Rajyotsava Prashasti 2019. And today, one more feather in the cap. The Association of People with Disability to pass the case. He has not been able to present. She is not present here. And IAS officer K.S. Latakumari, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಅನಂತರ ನೀಡಲಾಗುತ್ತೆ. And now we move on to Dr. Kiran Naik. Dr. Kiran Naik, request Dr. Kiran Naik to please come over to receive the award. An award activist mainstreaming marginalized communities, advancing disability, transgender rights, and rural inclusion across India. Let's give a round of applause for his 15 plus years of advocacy. 15 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಗಿಂತಲೂ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಈ ಡಿಸೆಬಿಲಿಟಿ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಅವರು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆದ್ರೂ ನಿಮಗೆ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಹೊಡೆಯಕ್ಕೆ ಮನ್ಸು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಫೌಂಡರ್ ಲೀಡರ್ ಆಫ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ವಿಕಲಚೇತನ ಸಂಘಟನೆ, including COVID-19 relief initiatives for transgender and nationally honored change maker. Dr. Kiran Naik ಅವರಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳು. Congratulations. Now request Mr. N. Muniraju to please come over. Muniraju. Grassroots disability rights champion, building inclusive, healthy communities across Chikkaballapura. Chikkaballapura, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನಿಂದ ಹತ್ತಿರದಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ಇವರು ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. Founder organizer of an SCI community service organization. Coordinate with departments and local bodies to improve health, education, sanitation, and livelihoods. Continues to mentor SHGs and volunteers. Muniraju ಅವರಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳು. Congratulations. ಇದೇ ರೀತಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಮುಂದುವರೆಸಿ ಇನ್ನು ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಜನ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬೆಂಬಲವನ್ನ ನೀಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನುವಂತಹ ಆರೈಕೆಯೊಡನೆ ಎಲ್ಲ So, Malathi, Shri Awadi and a performance in disabled sports embodying resilience, skill, and unparalleled sporting triumphs. She is a former senior manager at Syndicate Bank, also the national and international recognition. Shri Award ಬಂದಿದೆ ಇವರಿಗೆ 2001ರಲ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಜುನ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಹಲವು ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ವಿಮೆನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಯರ್ USA 2001, ವಿಮೆನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇಯರ್ UK 2003. ಸೊ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಿದೇಶಿಯವರು ಸಹ ಇವರನ್ನ ಗುರುತಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ನಂಬರ್ 3 ಇನ್ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಪುಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ 55, ನೋಟಬಲ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಟ್ ಐವಾಸ್ ಗೇಮ್ಸ್ 2009. ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಲತಿ ಹೊಳ್ಳ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಾಡಿನ ಸಮಸ್ತ ಜನತೆಯ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳು. ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳು. ಇನ್ನು ಮುಂದಿನ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ಒಂದು ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ APD ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಖುಷಿಯಿಂದ ಈ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಂಧುಗಳು, ಈಗ ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸೋಣ ಶ್ರೀ ನಟರಾಜ್. An achiever, senior WCD official, advancing child protection, women's collective and community empowerment in Karnataka. A senior officer in Karnataka Department and Women and Child Development, Child Protection, ಹಲವು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Partnership with great impact in child and women's welfare. Capacity for frontline instructors progress, delivery. ಶ್ರೀ ನಟರಾಜ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳು. ಮುಂದಿನ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ಶ್ರೀ ಟಿ ಸೀತಾರಾಮ್ ಅವರು ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವರ ಮಗಳು ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ ಅವರು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ ಅವರು ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಬಂದು ಈ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಸ್ವೀಕರಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ. ಬನ್ನಿ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ ಅವರೇ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೇಗ ಬನ್ನಿ. ಅಲ್ಲ, international medals, national medals, Eklavya Award, mentor and coach, service, lifelong commitment to disability, welfare, sport and community. ಸೀತಾರಾಮ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳು. ತಂದೆಯ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಅವರ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಿ ಅವರ ಅವರನ್ನು ಸ್ವೀಕರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆದ್ರೂ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆ ಸೀತಾರಾಮ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕು, ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಸಭೆಯ ಬೇಗನ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅವರು ವೇದಿಕೆಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. Sofia Begum Bawal Saab Mathu, a grassroots women's leader, mobilizing self-help groups, public health and sanitation initiatives in Karnataka. She forms and strengthens women's SHGs, guiding savings, livelihoods and community problem solving, leads health, hygiene and sanitation campaigns from school and college awareness to cleanliness drives. So, ಎಲ್ಲರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಸಫಿಯಾ ಬೇಗಂ ಧವಳ ಸಾಬ್ ಮರ್ತೂರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳು. ನಲ್ಲಿ ವಹಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಸಭೆಯ ಬೇಗಂ ಅವರು. ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆಗಳು ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಕಂಗ್ರಾಚುಲೇಷನ್ಸ್. ಈಗ ಈ ಒಂದು ಆಚರಣೆಯ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟಿವ್ ಅನ್ನ ತರಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಅದು ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಹಲವು 10 ವಿಷಯಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಅದನ್ನ ಇದೀಗ ತಾನೇ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಮಿಸಿರುವಂತಹ ಅತಿಥಿಗಳು ಇದನ್ನ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ. ಶ್ರೀ ಎನ್.ಆರ್. ಆನಂದರಾಮ್, ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ GF, ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಜೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಫ್ RIM and RCL, ಇದನ್ನ ಬಿಡುಗಡೆಯನ್ನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ. ಲಾಂಚ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಅವರು ಇದನ್ನ ಬರೋ ಮುನ್ನ ಈ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ಯೂರಿಟಿ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ಸ್ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ PWDs, it will give the information about schemes are board for PWDs and how to apply and where to learn. ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ QR ಕೋಡ್ ಇದೆ, ನೀವು ಸಹ ಅದು ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಆದ ಕೂಡಲೇ that can be activated. All of you have been given a QR code. The smart assistant service ಈಗ ಆನಂದರಾಮ್ ಅವರು ರಿಮೋಟ್ ಮುಖೇನ ಇದರ ಉದ್ಘಾಟನೆಯನ್ನು ನೆರವೇರಿಸಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ. Give a huge round of applause for that. ಮಾತ್ರ QR code ಕೊಡಲಾಗಿದೆ. You can always scan it and you can also get the free of the chat. Ready? Thank you very much. I would request the dignitaries to please take your seat. I would request Mr. Anand Ram to kindly stay back for a moment. We'll give a memento to you. Ultra Ella Kandaru, we can please take their seats. I would request on behalf of the organizing Mr. Anand Ram to accept a memento. Thank you very much, Mr. Anandram. I would also request Mr. Uma Maheshwaran to please come over and accept the memento. He has been a support towards organizing the program. Mani Uma Maheshwaran, please come, Mr. Uma, principal of Law College, very dynamic personality. He's also here. I would request Mr. Uma Maheshwaran to kindly come over and accept the memento. Very much for all the support. Thank you. I will now request Mr. Vana, Madam Kumadi, Hema to please come and say a few words on the occasion. Balugala Swagatisi Kumadi Madam.
Good morning to all of you. The celebration, today is Hema's birthday, and I feel even the plants are celebrating because she loved plants. And this is from the nursery, they said. And what more do you want? Everything. And the awards have been given from the last 8 years. NS Hema Award, I'm sure the person or the families who have received are benefiting. Hema's time when she had the attack of polio was almost 80 years ago. There's not much facility at that time. So many people were involved in her rehabilitation. More than the parents, I think I have to thank the whole lot of the extended family which was involved in Hema's rehabilitation. And years after, in 1959, you know the film show that was shown, the film that was shown, it was started in 1959 at home, and there would be very few disabled people, disabled boys and girls coming. And later, when Mr. V.T. Padmanabhan gave the 2 acres of land, you don't know her joy. You cannot gauge. It is from then that the work on APH, it started. I only want to say at the end, that is 8 years ago or 9 years ago, when she was in the hospital, she told me, Kumu, I would like to come back in the same avatar and then do a lot more for the disabled. But I had one complaint to her. I said, why should you come back in that way? I will pray that you come and walk like a soldier and do with all the information that you have gathered in this life. The Lord gave you an opportunity to be a disabled person, to gather information and then do the most for the disabled people. So I said, you better come back as a able-bodied person and work for many more years till APD celebrates its centenary. It's already 63 years ago that APH was started and went to be APD. So I said, you come back and work again for APD to uplift the handicapped people. I have nothing more to say, to just thank all the people involved in her rehabilitation. And I wish APD all the luck and all the people working for the upliftment of the handicapped people. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to come and be before you, speak before you, because I have been involved in this beginning, setting up of APD, everything from 1959, and I saw the challenges that Hema faced, but overcame every day in the morning when she woke up, she would hold her left hand like this and put her hands together. I know the prayer was not for herself, but for APD. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, ಕುಮುದಿನಿ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅವರು. NS ಹೇಮಾ ಅವರ ಕನಸುಗಳು ನನಸಾಗುತ್ತಿರುವಂತಹ ನಿಟ್ಟಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ನಡೀತಾರೆ. She's been very happy in terms of the functioning of the APD organization, doing a great job. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಇನ್ನು NS ಹೇಮಾ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ನೀಡುವಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದಿನ ಹೆಜ್ಜೆ ನಮ್ದು, the next step from us here is to know more about the NS ಹೇಮಾ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ನು ನೀಡೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುನ್ನ ನಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಗಳಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ನಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವು ಲಕ್ಕಿ ಒನ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ದ ವಿನ್ನರ್ ಅಂಡ್ ರನ್ನರ್. ಆದ್ರೆ ದಿ ಅದರ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹೂ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನಾಟ್ ವನ್ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಡಿಸಪಾಯಿಂಟೆಡ್. ಬಿ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ನಾಮಿನೇಟೆಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಗುಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಅನ್ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ಬರೋರ್ಗೆ ಸಂತೋಷ, ನಾಮಿನೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿರೋರು ಸಹ ಸಂತೋಷ ಪಡಬೇಕು. Who are all the nominees? Let's have the nominations video, please.
My name is Harshit. I'm a clinical psychologist and I'm the technical head of NEST International Academy and Research Center, Calicut. NEST International Academy and Research Center, it's a pediatric rehabilitation center which is located in Calicut. We mainly cater children with all kinds of disabilities. More than 9 years we are catering the children with disabilities. And the same foundation, it's a renowned organization, have a long history. How it is important is like we as an NGO, there will be and limitations which we will be experiencing. So while we are interacting with the other NGOs and we get to know about other NGOs and how they are functioning, we will definitely learn many things from them and we can implement many things that could be more benefiting for our services that can impact the lives of children and families with this kind of disability. So this is a great opportunity here and we have interacted with many NGOs and we have learned things from them. And it's an honor to be here. So when we are talking about the hurdles that I could share that our organizations, many of them are coming from the low socioeconomic background. So we are unable to take these children and mostly we are seeking sponsorship. So we are maybe to provide the maximum amount of therapy services to the children. The time is very important. The other areas when we are giving these services, the more chances or the functionality will be much more than we design the services. And one more thing which we should identify is that most of the families who are having a children with disabilities, they are facing economical challenges that one month caretaker is unable to work. Even though they are qualified, they are unable to work. So making them independent and making them substantial and is very essential to maintain a good mental health for these parents. And we experience that many experiencing questions, stepping from these societies.
Hi, I'm Mayura Balasubramanian. I'm the founder of Craftism. I was brought up on a rich source of craft, culture, and heritage. I have 20 years of experience in the development sector, and I also have a management degree for business. And I feel very fortunate that I can combine my passion for craft and heritage with my management background and use this combination to benefit underserved communities, including adults with intellectual disabilities. At Craftism, we serve marginalized communities who don't have a program. These will be the underprivileged at their doorstep and flexible avenues for different and of course select traditional craft clusters as well. So communities, we provide end-to-end support, right from customizing craft skills to suit their ability to helping them plan for production at a large scale, having built India's largest vocational training program for adults with ID, which is now in 100 plus centers in 11 states. I feel, this acknowledgement and recognition of our efforts. I would say this is important because I feel it will encourage more people like me, probably who don't come from this background, to think about solutions for and share what we feel and
center, this special program is that disorder. Prestigious recognition for
Trust from Europe. Started the system at Chayam Trust in 2014 to create a Beggars India. It is our ultimate vision. From last 12 years journey, we have reached more than 12,000 beggars, including mental health disease people, person with disabilities, and elders with destitute, and those who are in the roadside as a homeless beggars. We rescued them and admitted to our rehabilitation home. Inspired by Swami Vivekananda book, also my father and my mother was affected as a disabled person. My father was he decided to start the organization
and my third year BE Mechanical. I studied in Kumarapalli in SSM College. At the time I started this organization. Same point of view, the Hema award, it is a very important one for our journey because of the completely disabled sector award to scale up our activity to the next level. We are working at the ground level, so we meet a lot of the people in the roadsides, and we met many difficulties. We are also facing a lot of the difficulties. First of all, now we are running our drugs. It is the first difficulty. It is we get the very full department CSR letter. Whenever I receive any form of it is very difficult to get the CSR letter from police department. So many people call me as a beggar. So for the beggar, rehabilitation of the beggars. So many people call me as a beggars. But even though now we face a lot of challenges from the public side and also the government side and also the inmates beneficiary sides also. So beneficiary not accepted our rehabilitation methods because of they are faced a lot of the problem in the roadside. Many people try to attack them. Many people, a lot of the problems happen in history, so personal history. So initially the people hear about our service. So after sometimes they feel very happy to live in our organization, and also we arrange the rehabilitation opportunity to more than 200 people.
Namaskar. My name is Janaki. People with Hearing Impaired Network, President from Hyderabad, Telangana. Our school started, 6 members, school started. And there were asking children, so వాళ్ళందరూ కూడా సైన్ లాంగ్వేజ్ ద్వారా మంచి క్వాలిటీ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ అందించాలన్న ఉద్దేశంతో స్కూల్ నడుపుతున్నాము. అలాగే మిగతా డెఫ్ స్కూళ్ళలో అందరు నార్మల్ టీచర్స్ ఉన్నారు, అక్కడ ఎలాంటి సైన్ లాంగ్వేజ్ ప్రాపర్గా రేంజ్ కావట్లేదు. కంప్యూటర్ ట్రైనింగ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్, అనదర్ బ్యాంబూ స్టిక్ వొకేషనల్ ట్రైనింగ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్, అనదర్ హ్యాండ్ మేకింగ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్. ఏపీడీ సంస్థ గత 2011 సంవత్సరం నుంచి మాకు పరిచయం. గతంలో కూడా చాలాసార్లు ఇక్కడికి ట్రైనింగ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ రావడం జరిగింది, ప్రోగ్రామ్ రావడం జరిగింది. ఏపీడీ మాకు కమ్యూనికేట్ చేయడం వల్ల మేము ఇక్కడికి వచ్చి ఆ కార్యక్రమం చూసి చాలా ఇన్స్పైర్ అయ్యాము. తర్వాత రీసెంట్ కూడా మేము ఈ అవార్డు మేము ఎందుకంటే ఒక మోడల్ గా ఉంది కాబట్టి మనం అప్లై చేస్తే బాగుంటుందని అప్లై చేసి ఇక్కడ రావడం జరిగింది. ఇది ఒక మోడల్ గా భావించి ఒక ఇన్స్పిరేషన్ గా తీసుకొని ఒక డిజైన్ అంటే ఇలా ఉండాలన్నట్టుగా ఇన్స్పైర్ అయ్యి ఈ అవార్డు అప్లై చేయడం జరిగింది. ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ఫస్ట్ 7th క్లాస్ చాలా కంజెస్టెడ్ గా చాలా ఉన్నాయి. మళ్ళీ ఇవన్నీ కూడా మాకు జరుగుతుంది. నా కేజీ ఉంది అయినా అయినా మా ప్రయత్నం కానీ అదర్ తీర్థానికి కానీ చాలా రకాలుగా మేము అడుగుతా ఉన్నాం, కానీ మాకు ఇంకా అనుకూలానికి ఇంకా స్పందన రాలేదు. అయినా కూడా మా ఒక విజన్ తో ముందుకు వెళ్తున్నాం కాబట్టి మాకు ఫ్యూచర్ లో ఈ ఛాలెంజెస్ అధిగమిస్తామని ఒక నమ్మకం అయితే ఉన్నదని చెప్పి చెప్తున్నారు. ఫ్యూచర్ లో ఒక మంచి ఎక్స్టాబ్లిషన్ ఒక ఆర్గనైజేషన్, ఒక డిజేబుల్ పీపుల్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ మనం కూడా ఒక సొసైటీకి ఉండాలనే ఉద్దేశం తను చెప్పడం. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Well, we saw the nominations. It's now time to find out the winner and runner. Before that, yes. Yeah, Dr. C.N. Manjunath has arrived at the right time. And in his august presence, the runner and winner award will be presented. But before that, I think we'll have the speech of Dr. Manjunath. Please put your hands together. Let's welcome Dr. C.N. Manjunath. ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಎಮರ್ಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಇದ್ದ ಕಾರಣ ಅವರು ತಡವಾಗಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Otherwise, he's a thorough gentleman who comes on time. So give a round of applause for Dr. C.N. Manjunath. Is the Member of Parliament from Bengaluru, Director of the Jaideva Institute of Cardiovascular Sciences and Research, a renowned cardiologist and medical visionary with a legacy of transformative healthcare. He's also been a respected leader, bridging medicine and governance to impact billions of lives. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause and welcome Dr. C.N. Manjunath. Swagata sir, Purvaka Swagata. ಇನ್ನೇನು ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ಕೊಡುವಂತಹ ಸಮಯ, ಆದರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಮುನ್ನ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ದ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ವಿಸ್ಡಮ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸಿ ಎನ್ ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್. ದಯಮಾಡಿ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಉದ್ದೇಶಿಸಿ ಮಾತನಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ. ಇದಾದ ಮೇಲೆ 2 ಪ್ರಮುಖ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿಗಳನ್ನ ಅವರು ನೀಡಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪುಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್, ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್.
ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಇವತ್ತು MS ರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಕಾಲೇಜಿನ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ದ್ವಾರಕಾ ಸಭಾಂಗಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವಿತ್ ಡಿಸಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಂದರೆ NS ಹೇಮಾ ಮೆಮೋರಿಯಲ್ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಆಹ್ವಾನಿಸಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ, ನನಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಿಮ್ಮೊಂದಿಗೆ ಬೆರೆಯುವಂಥ ಅವಕಾಶವನ್ನು ಕಲ್ಪಿಸಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಆಭಾರಿಯಾಗಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಮತ್ತು ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ವೇದಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗಣ್ಯಾತಿ ಗಣ್ಯರಿಗೂ ಹಾಗೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆರೆದಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ದೇವ ಮಾನವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೃದಯ ಸ್ಪರ್ಶಿ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಇದೊಂದು ಅದ್ಭುತವಾದಂತಹ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮಾರು 3-5% ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ವಿಕಲಚೇತನರ ಸಂಖ್ಯೆ ಇದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಒಂದು ICMR ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಒಂದು ಫಿಗರ್ ಇದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭಾರತ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಟ್ಟಾರೆ ಸುಮಾರು 4-8 ಕೋಟಿ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳಿದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಹಲವಾರು ಯೋಜನೆಗಳನ್ನ ರೂಪಿಸಿದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಇದು ಸಮಾಜದ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ, ಇದು ಸಮಾಜದ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಅನಿಸಿಕೆ ಅಂತಾನೆ ನನ್ನ ಭಾವನೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪೀಪಲ್, ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಡಿಸಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬಿನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಇದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸುಮಾರು ಹಿಂದೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇವಲ 7 ಡಿಸಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಇತ್ತು. ಇವತ್ತು ಸುಮಾರು 21 ಡಿಸಬಿಲಿಟಿಯನ್ನ ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಹೀಗಾಗಿ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದದ್ದು ಇವತ್ತು ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಯೋಜನೆ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಸಮಾಜ, ಹಲವಾರು ಸಂಘಟನೆಗಳು, ಸಮಾಜಮುಖಿ ಸಂಘಟನೆಗಳು ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇವತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆರೆದಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಗಣ್ಯಾತಿ ಗಣ್ಯರು ಮತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆರೆದಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇವತ್ತು ವಿಕಲಚೇತನರಿಗೆ ಇದೊಂದು ಬಹಳ ಉತ್ತಮವಾದಂಥ ಸಮಾರಂಭ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಹಳ ಮುಖ್ಯವಾದದ್ದು ಆತ್ಮವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ ನಮಗೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆತ್ಮವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಬೇಕು, ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಇವತ್ತು ಹೇಮಾ ಅವರ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ, ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಹೇಮಾ ಅವರ ಇವತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲಾ ವಿಕಲಚೇತನರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ಇಡೀ ಸಮುದಾಯಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ಒಂದು ಮಾದರಿಯಾಗಿ ನಿಲ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಪ್ಯಾರಾ ಒಲಿಂಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು, ಭಾರತ ದೇಶ ಪ್ಯಾರಾ ಒಲಿಂಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರ್ ಒಲಿಂಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಗಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಪದಕಗಳನ್ನ ಗಳಿಸೋದು ಪ್ಯಾರಾ ಒಲಿಂಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ಇವತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಆತ್ಮವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಬೇಕು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸರಿಯಾದದ್ದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಸರಿಯಾದ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ, ನಡೆದಷ್ಟು ದಾರಿ ಇದೆ, ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿದಷ್ಟು ಭಾಗ್ಯವಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಅದರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಮಾಜ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಬಹಳ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ ನಾವು, ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ದ ವೀಕ್ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್, ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ದ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಯಂಗ್, confess the fault when you are wrong. One day you will be weak, one day you will be wrong, and one day, yes, you will be having problems. So adukoskara one day you will be old, and one day you will be weak, one day you will be wrong. Andre bahala mukyavadaddu, you should have sympathy. Society bahala samajada jawabdari idra mele bahala ide. ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಹಲವಾರು ಯೋಜನೆಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಸರ್ಕಾರ. ಇವತ್ತು ಅಂಗವಿಕಲರಿಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಏಬಲ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಅವರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಸ್ಕಾಲರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ಪೆನ್ಷನ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಾವಲಂಬನ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಅಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ, ಹೈಯರ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ, ಇದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಹಲವಾರು ಪೆನ್ಷನ್ ಸ್ಕೀಮ್ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ. ಹೈಯರ್ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಕಾಲರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಇದೆ. ನಂತರ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಅ ಪ್ರಾವಿಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ 5% ಇನ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್, for various employment, even in land allotment, even in house allotment. So these are the schemes that has, because actually this comes under Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. This comes under Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. So adukoskara we have to create an awareness among the disabled population. These are the various schemes available, and we also the organization should be able to assist them how to get this. For example, somebody has got a 70% disability, 80% disability. See, they are eligible for pensions. Starting anything above 40%, 60%, they are eligible for pension, and even for children. So in India, the most common disabilities we see is a locomotor disability. Of course, we have cerebral palsy, we have the leprosy cured people, we have polio affected people, then muscular dystrophies. So unfortunately, these things are there. But now the scope of disability has been further expanded. What used to be 7 in 2006, now in 2016 Act, it has been expanded to 21. That includes visual impairment and hearing impairment and sensory impairment, all those things. So certainly this, I think every one of us should read a book written on Hema, because it is written in Kannada. I was going through that. What even a abled person cannot achieve, she has achieved so many things. So what an abled person, what a normal person can't achieve. So adukoskara what is most important is, I mean, you should believe in yourself, and of course problems. That's what once our great Shakespeare also says, once says that problems are not permanent. Even problems cannot be permanent. They will be change. And with all these assist devices, with all this particular support, you can able to lead a better quality of life. And that's the reason our comedian, the famous comedian, says that problems are not permanent. There will be a change. And he also says, he walks, whenever he walks in the rain, at that time only he cries, because nobody can able to see, and nobody can able to see his tears That is the reason he cries when he walks in the rain. Third one, a day is considered to be wasted if you don't smile. So I think a day will be wasted if you don't smile. So definitely with a lot of self-belief, self-confidence, determination, and if you can achieve a lot of things. Only thing is, I think there will be a lot of challenges. Society also should have a sympathy, empathy, and compassion towards these physically challenged people. And I think this is all because I've already said the achievements done by Hema is exemplary, and she has established various organizations to support all those things. So it's a great program, and we'll be very happy to distribute these awards to this. What is this? Yeah. So I think most important, there is some subtle differences between sympathy, empathy, and compassion. Sympathy means, yes, visibly on the lip we say, oh, this person is having problem. That is sympathy. Empathy means, yes, we feel the pain of these suffering people. Empathy. Compassion means we decide, let us do something for them. Let us help. Let us do something for them. So compassion is the, and see, I think kindness and generosity are the most, lovable characters. Kindness and generosity are bigger than any of your, whatever may be your achievements, whatever may be your qualification, but sympathy, kindness, and generosity are the greatest characters of a human being. That is one thing. So definitely, I think Government of India is also doing a lot for the benefit of these physically challenged people, and even various organizations. Take Rotary, for example, Rotary, the Lions Club, even various other social organizations are coming forward. So I think if you want to live longer, you have to go on helping people. See, God has given two hands. Do you know why God has given two hands? One hand to help ourselves, other hand to help others. So this is what why the God has given. And no point in giving big speeches and also just showing some lip sympathy. So what is really most important is actually you should have to listen, and also heart to understand, and also a mind to act. So these are the important things. So again, I repeat, what is most important is you should have a hand to help, and ear to listen, and at the same time heart to understand. That is very, very important. See, all of us have heart. Only few people have a generous heart, or a kind heart, or a lovable heart. So because love and affection also has got a lot of healing effect on the mind. That is very, very important, because medicine alone will not cure all this problem, and all the assist devices will not cure the problem. See, your mindset is more important. The mental makeup is more important, because I always keep telling the dedication is more important than designation. Sincerity is more important than seniority. Values are more important than valuables. Mindset is more important than the marks. Efforts are more important than the results. Loyalty is more important than the royalty. And progress is more important than perfection. Finally, proper work is more important than paperwork. So these things are extremely important. Certainly, the entire country is with this community, and certainly, again, I repeat, the society response, society's, contribution, societal help is extremely important, and one should not be under the impression life is all over with just because of disability. So even I think there, for example, Ellen Keller, she was blind, she was also deaf and dumb. See, her achievements are exemplary. So I think this is where, if you mind, certainly you can do a lot of good things. So you are part of the main national stream. That is the reason our Honorable Prime Minister has the very nomenclature has been changed from what is called disabled to Divyangjan. Divyangjan, that is people with the divine abilities. You are the people with the divine abilities. So that is the message given by our Honorable Prime Minister. So believe in yourself. Certainly for you also, sky is the limit. You have to only, you should have tremendous patience, and the family help and society help goes long way. Inspiration, you have to lead, you have to read always, because failure is not, what is failure? Failure is first attempt in learning. Failure, in other words, is the part of success. Failure is always a part of success. There is nothing like an end. What is the end? End means efforts never die. And you should not think, oh, my life has become zero. No, I think mathematics starts with zero. Or zero can be, O stands for opportunity. So you will have opportunities. And also, I'm very glad to say, Government of India has also made provisions for about a special provision of 5% in employment, and also scholarships for higher education and pensions for people with greater disability. So disability, many a time, obstacles can become an opportunity. Obstacles can become an opportunity, and certainly as a part of the society, we are all with you. God bless all of you. All the best. Live long, live young. Thank you very much.
Words of great inspiration and motivation. I would request Dr. Sendil Kumar, CEO of APD, to give a memento to Dr. C. N. Manjunath. Thank you very much, sir. Request you to kindly take your seat. ಈಗ the time to know who's the runner-up, who will be the winner. The first runner-up announcement will be made by Mrs. Jayanti Yashwant Kumar, the chairperson of jury committee. ಮೊದಲಿಗೆ runner-up announcement ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಆನಂತರ winner announcement ಆಗತ್ತೆ. So over to you, madam.
Last, we have the final moment. I'm here as a representative on behalf of the 9th NS Hema Memorial Award jury and as a representative of APD. First and foremost, thank you, APD team and the jury team, for all the work that was done. As I mentioned earlier, there were 48 applications. And we had 5 finalists. Congratulations to all of you all for the wonderful work that you all have done. So we have a first and a runner-up, which means that they fit more well into the criteria that we had for the award. It does not mean the others were not good. They have done some excellent work. And wish you all the very best. So the first runner-up goes to Achayam Trust. Congratulations. Achay.
I would request Naveen Kumar and team to please come over. the 9th NS Hema Memorial Award to the Chain Trust. It's a field file. This recognition celebrates over 11 years of unwavering dedication to create and structured interventions, medical, psychiatric, vocational, and psychological. The trust has rehabilitated over 1,552. I would request the dignitaries to please come over and give the award. I would request the Anandram to give this award. I would request other dignitaries to please join. The journey of our time trust is rehabilitating and reintegrating homeless, vulnerable individuals, but also inspire families to engage and advocate for a more inclusive world. In honoring Achayam Trust, APD recognizes the vision and dedication of its board of governors, trustees, and management team. This prestigious award, named in memory of NS Hema, a true leader in the disability sector, celebrates the relentless pursuit of equality and dignity for all. As we continue to expand the noble mission beyond borders, growing ever stronger in the commitment to fostering an inclusive future for all. Be given. I would request Mrs. Jayanti Yashwant Kumar to please come back and announce the winner's name. Before that, I would request the representatives of Achayam Trust to say a few words and tell their speech.
Hello everyone. So thank you so much to APD for giving the wonderful award. So actually we have started this organization in 2014 by my college studies. Even though my father suffered a disabled person, mother also suffered a disabled person. So during my studies, I started this organization in India. So we have made more than 12,000 beggars in the roadside, including mental illness, disabled persons, elders, and a lot of the people. We counsel them and successfully rehabilitated 1,500 people. So we have the 5 shelter home. Also, completely youngsters working in the field of homeless, beggars, and mental disabled people. So constructing it is the model for India. So it is a full bed capacity. So it is specially for beggars and disabled persons and a lot of the people. And we completed my master's in thermal. So I'm not a social work department, MSW, psychology, sociology. We have 800 volunteers here and actively 400 volunteers working in the field of homeless people. We have signed a lot of the MSW various colleges. Many people supported us. So in this moment, it is very helpful for scale up our activity to do more service in the disabled person. So thank you so much to you and entire staff and MP sir and everyone here. So it's a great opportunity. So we are for our changing our society completely from the beggary to the entrepreneur. So we will request your entire support for our organization, for your guidance and support and motivations. Everything is valuable for us. And we never expect so we simply and it is the opportunity to network the people what we offer, and it is same team also. Thank you.
Navin is being very humble. When I started that discussion, telling you all about the award, I was telling you all, people from very humble back of beyond, below poverty line, and I just want to stress what was his inspiration when he started this and what made him start. He had the last 10 rupees in his pocket and he had given it to somebody who he thought was a beggar. And he followed her and saw that she went to an alcohol shop and she drank. So he was very upset that his 10 rupees didn't go for a good cause. And then his father was physically handicapped and everybody thought him to be a beggar. And they used to give him money, which I think hurt him so much that he started saying, I will rehabilitate beggars, and he is working towards a beggar-free Erode. Congratulations at all.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay, the winner of the 9th NS Hema Memorial Award 2025, People with Hearing Impaired Network, FIN.
It is honored to present the 9th NS Hema Memorial Award to the people with hearing PHIM film. This recognition celebrates over 18 years of unwavering dedication to enhancing the lives of individuals with locomotor, hearing impaired, visually impaired, intellectual challenges, and of course, multiple disabilities, while fostering a more inclusive society for children with special needs. In 2007 by Srimati Ujjini Janaki, herself a woman with hearing impaired. She experienced discrimination and stigma in the community towards people with disabilities. She found that there is a necessity for disabled children and mainly for the leading hearing impaired who require quality education as a part of the fundamental right. PHI and FIN also established its wing in Pune, Maharashtra. PHI, the school is working hard to enlighten the bright future of students and having special and trained teachers. The journey is a testament to resilience and commitment. Their efforts not only empower the children with disabilities, but also inspire families to engage and advocate more inclusive world. The prestigious award made in memory of NS Hema, a true leader in the disability sector, celebrates the relentless pursuit of equality and dignity for all. So congratulations and heartfelt wishes to PHIN. The citation is also there. Categorized is also included with a citation and a memento. Congratulations, Chappa Joan Parli, Nale, Ita, Rita. Then all will be reviewed kinetic.
అందరికీ నమస్కారం. ఇక్కడ వేదిక పెద్దలు అందరికి కూడా మనస్ఫూర్తిగా ఈరోజు చేసిన ఎన్ఎస్ హేమ మేడం గారి బర్త్డే సందర్భంగా ఈ అవార్డు తీసుకున్నందుకు చాలా సంతోషంగా ఉంది. ఎందుకంటే మేమంతా కూడా ఇప్పుడు ఇప్పటిదాకా మేడం మాట్లాడారు, అసిస్టెంట్ కమిషనర్ గా రాజస్థాన్ ఏదైతే డిజేబుల్ పీపుల్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ అని చెప్పారో, మేము అదే కాన్సెప్ట్ తో జావేద్ ఆబిద్ గారు స్ఫూర్తితోనే గతంలో ఏపీడీ కూడా విజిట్ చేసాం 2011లో. ఆ ఇన్స్పిరేషన్ తోని ఫిన్ సంస్థ కూడా డిజేబుల్ పీపుల్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్, అందులో అందరికీ కూడా ఎంప్లాయ్మెంట్ ఆపర్చునిటీ డిజేబుల్ వాళ్ళే ఉండాలని చెప్పి ఈ యొక్క ఆర్గనైజేషన్ స్టార్ట్ చేయడం జరిగింది. మరి ఈరోజు మాకు ఈ యొక్క ఫిన్ సంస్థకు అవార్డు రావడం చాలా సంతోషంగా ఉంది. అందులో ఏపీడీ హేమా మేడం అవార్డు తీసుకోవడం చాలా సంతోషంగా ఉంది. దీనికి జ్యూరీ మెంబర్స్ అండ్ ఎంపీ గారు, కమిషనర్ గారు, మిగతా ఇక్కడ ఏపీడీ స్టాఫ్ అందరు కూడా చాలా పెద్ద ఎత్తున ఈ కార్యక్రమాన్ని అరేంజ్ చేసి ఇక్కడికి మాకు పిలిచి ఈ అవార్డు ఇచ్చినందుకు మనస్ఫూర్తిగా ధన్యవాదాలు. థ్యాంక్ యూ.
Thank you very much. We request the dignitaries to kindly take your seats, please. All the dignitaries. Let's give a round of applause for all the dignitaries for presenting this award. I will now request Mr. Sunil Kumar, KP Senior Director, Marketing and Communication, APD, the words of thanks. ಯಾರು ಸಹ ಜಾಗ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕದಲಬಾರದು, ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಅಂತಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ ಯೋರ್ ಸೀಟ್ಸ್.
My dear colleagues, it is always a privilege and honor to stand in front of you and be grateful to all. And thanks the NSMA committee for choosing me to say the vote of thanks. Let me first be grateful to NSMA, who left a legacy called APD and made a blood sweat to build this great organization, because of which we are gathered here today. Let me express my gratitude to Geeta Navale and team for melodious music, and Shankar Prakash for tirelessly and Prakash. Santosh Kumari and team for invoking the divine presence in this very hall. Mr. Subir Reddy Singh, our honorary president, for taking time and welcoming all of us in his inimitable style. Mr. Jayanti Natra Yashwant Kumar for taking us through the process, and Anna Samawar and her keynote address. Thank you, Jayanti. Special thanks to Professor Dr. C.N. Manjunath, Honorary Member of Parliament. When we came to invite you, you readily agreed. Thanks for your generosity, and you made it a point, despite some grievance in your family. See, I remember, all of us remember that proper work is more important than paper work. We will adhere to that from today onwards. We assure you that we will keep smiling so that the day is not wasted. And our friend Dr. Das Suryavanshi, State Commissioner of Persons with Disability, who I must say always willing to extend to APD, and he never refused an appointment. Even without the appointment, we go there, his doors are open. Thank you very much. And soon we hope that the Purple Fest. I remember during in Bangalore, the entire city was painted red. So this time we will make the entire city purple. Let's wish for that. Thank you, Meenu Bambani, VP and Senior Grants Manager, APSC State Corporation, for your enlightening lecture on amplifying the leadership of persons with disabilities for an inclusive and sustainable future. We have taken a lot of clues from you, and you have motivated many in this hall to fight for their right. And I think they will sincerely practice. Your love for promoting and music is another important point that I have noted. And it's always said that a nation's wealth is not measured by only GDP, it is by its culture, music, dance, and various other things. So thank you very much for giving an importance for art and culture. Anandaram, thank you very much for your presence. We would have loved to listen to you, but I think not able to do that. Thanks to, he has not come. Kumudi Madam has taken us through the memory lane and brought nostalgia of NSMA, and we felt NSMA's presence in this very hall. A big thank you for your kind and generous words. We really miss NSMA. Today we gathered here to honor the remarkable individuals, NGOs, on the eve of recognition of their well-deserved achievements. Congratulations to all of them. I will just read out the names. Pradeep Kandawal, Ganga Mandel, Vinayak Rao, Vishwas, Kiran Nayak, Muniraj, Maladi Falla, Nadraj, Sitaram, Sabya Begum, and the award winner Finn and the Ashaya Trust. Congratulations to all of you. See, your journey has been one of selflessness, compassion, and unwavering dedication to serving those in need. Inspired by the indomitable spirit of NSMA, you all embarked on a mission to make difference in the lives of people with disabilities. And for the past several years, you all have done this. You have done just that. In the words of Robert Frost, two roads are diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Dear winners, you chose the road less traveled, the path that demanded immense courage and compassion. Your decision to serve the community has transformed countless lives, and APD stands here today as a great support to your unwavering commitment. As we reflect upon the NGO's journey, we cannot help but be reminded of the words of William Wordsworth once wrote, The best portion of a good man's life is his little, nameless, unremembered acts of kindness and love. Indeed, it is the countless acts of kindness and unyielding love you have shown to those in need that have left an indelible mark on the hearts of minds of those who have touched. In the words of another great poet, Maya Angelou, I have learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. William Shakespeare wrote, "We know what we are, but we don't know what we may be." APD is always believing in empowering the NGOs to realize their potential and encourage them to create a more inclusive society. Winning, winning any award create a new chapter in anyone's life where one can reflect on the accomplishments, cherish the moments, and enjoy the fruits of one's labor. William Wordsworth again wrote in a poem called Daffodils, "For oft, when I on my couch lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dance with the daffodils." I am sure many of all the people who have won the award will have pleasant memories of winning this award. So noble work of yours, and will fill your heart and make you dance as daffodils did to Wordsworth. I will be failing in my duty if I do not thank my staff and children from Sraddhanjali Integrated School for their marvelous performance, and Rosna and Alice for their mesmerizing dance. To the entire members of the NS Hema Memorial Award Committee, led by all, kudos to you for organizing and completing this successfully, such a prestigious function. Your hard work is visible today. Special thanks and applause to the jury committee for their time and wisdom in selecting the right and deserving NGOs. APD's board member also for their support. They are all present here, and for their guidance, their continued guidance, one of our pillars of APD. SC team for the decoration, volunteer from the Law College and also from APD. And then I must also mention Naveen, especially for his sound works, and Srinivas. He has been toiling since yesterday to prepare the bouquets, the ones that you have very beautifully made. Thank you, Srinivas. And I must also thank Mr. Natarajan, who is present here, and for his lovely talk. On my own behalf and on behalf of entire APD, I wish all the winners a new of an illustrious end. Thank you so much. And as in the movie, they say, who are we?
Highly inspirational words of thanks. ಈಗ ಶ್ರೀ ಎಂ ಆನಂದರಾಮ್ ಅವರು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸಿ ಎನ್ ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಗೌರವವನ್ನು ಅರ್ಪಿಸಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. I would request Dr. C. N. Manjunath to kindly accept the felicitation from Sri M. R. Anandram. Let's give a round of applause and thank Dr. C. N. Manjunath for his highly inspiring presence and motivating everyone present here with his words of wisdom. Dhanyavadagalu, sir. Request all of you to kindly rise. ದಯಮಾಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಎದ್ದು ನಿಲ್ಲಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ. ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಗೀತೆಗಾಗಿ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಸಹ ಸಜ್ಜಾಕೋಣ. ಊಟದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಚಿಂತೆ ಬೇಡ. You have your lunch and head back to your destinations safely and securely. ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು, ಅನಂತ ವಂದನೆಗಳು. See you all in the next award presentation. Thank you very much.